So we're going to start B6, page 9 for this one. And we're going to be using some tools we have not used yet. And that's going to be the curvature and the pen tool. And they kind of look like pens over there. But that's the tool that we're going to use for this next section. Okay? So come over here and locate your pen tool. The pen tool is a fancy tool for Illustrator. You can just click and let go and click and let go and click and let go to create shapes. For instance, I could click here and let go and 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 then come back to where I started and I have a shape. And then as we know, we could take the white arrow tool, click the path once and then click and move the pieces of the shape around to make a shape however we want it to be. We're going to create a tail feather using the pen tool, and let me show you how we're going to create that shape. I'm going to delete this example. Now it's probably going to be easiest to kind of use one of these boxes as a guide, although you don't have to use exactly the same number of boxes that I use here to do this. I just kind of use it as a little bit of a guide if you need it. But we're going to grab the pen tool and we're going to click up here on the corner of a box. So kind of where these boxes intersect, I'm just going to click on one. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of come down past the second line right here and maybe in this box and click. Okay. So I've made one click there. I'm going to kind of come over here to the middle somewhere. And again, we're going to move all these around, so it really doesn't matter where they go, to be honest. All right, I'm going to click again. I'm going to click again somewhere in here. Click again. Click again. These probably aren't spaced out properly, but it's okay. And come up here and click. And then you always want to go back to where you started. So back to where I started closes the path. Okay, this is pretty ugly, but it's honestly fine. You can take your direct selection tool. That's the white arrow. Click the path once, and then you can click and start moving stuff around. So I want to get this to look a little more, you know, feathery, if you will. Spread it out a little better, line it up a little better. And if you're one of those like symmetrical people, you know, you could use your boxes and be all like perfect about it. But hey, it's feathers. Feathers aren't going to be perfect. Okay. So this is good enough for me. I think it's fine. And now we're going to switch to the curvature tool. So right below the pen tool is the curvature tool. You can draw with the curvature tool too. I like to use the curvature tool after I've used the pen tool to make curvy lines because it's just so much easier than trying to make it on the fly with the pen tool. So all you're going to do is point to the edge of the path. It'll say the word path, and you just pull. Look at that. And I just curved that right out there. I could do the same thing here and curve it, here and curve it, here and curve it, and so forth. It is adding an anchor point. If you notice, you'll see a little circle that's added there where you pulled from, and it's adding that anchor point and then curving between the anchor points. So isn't that handy? Top part doesn't matter. We're going to merge that in with our other part in just a minute anyway. Okay? And that's basically it. You're going to switch to your selection tool when you're done, if you're happy with it, and that's pretty much it. Okay. Now, ideally, we want to combine this, and we'll go back to the example again for a minute. We're going to make this feather be part of this other black part, but we didn't draw it inside of that group. So now it's just kind of out here. Okay. So what we're going to do here to grab inside of a group without going into selection, direct selection mode, we can click on it with the white arrow. Okay, so instead of isolating it, we can click on it with the white arrow. So I'm clicking on that black piece with the white arrow. Notice it didn't go in the group. This white, the off-white part is not selected. See that? So what I need to do then is, and I'm preemptively here, I'm gonna have to back up a second. I need to go position my tail feather and then select these two pieces. Okay, so let me get back out. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, Control minus. I'm going to come down here, and you might need to move these feathers out of the way for a second while you're doing it. That's fine. I'm going to rotate this around and get it kind of like I want it, like so or whatever. Okay, I've got this piece selected. Now I'm going to go to my white arrow tool. Okay, I'm going to hold down because I want to select 2 at a time, right? I'm going to hold shift and click on this black piece. All right, see now these 2 pieces are selected, even though I didn't go into isolation mode. And on my Pathfinder, I'm going to hit unite. And those 2 pieces are now 1 piece. Now I'm going to get back out of here with my regular black arrow tool, click off of everything, and then notice if I click back on here, they're not selected, they're not grouped together anymore because I made a new path here. So this kind of happens sometimes. But that is the fast way to put everything together. All right. If you left your little feathers over there, they're probably going behind everything now. You can right click and arrange and bring those to the front. Or you can press the control key on your keyboard and the bracket button to the right of the letter P. There's 2 brackets. The left bracket sends things behind and the right bracket sends things up. So if you just press it enough times, eventually it's going to come up into the front. Okay, so there we go. And now I've got both of my pieces in there and everything is looking pretty good. But again, this piece is now separate from this piece. So I have a bunch of separate pieces. This, I've got my eye that's a group, I've got this that's a group, and then I've got these other 2 pieces. All right, save it, and then we'll pick up with the next page.